What's going on, guys? Welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. Hope you had a happy and healthy Christmas. Today, we got Ken Rosenthal. He's got the latest on Alex Bregman. He's got the latest on Bo Bichette and the Blue Jays, and the rest of the news on the AL East. Remember, guys, put your notifications on. I'm going to be breaking down the offseason moves of baseball every single day right here on New York Minute Sports. Enough out of me. Let's get right to the business. Let's go to Ken Rosenthal from Foul Territory.
They've got one more signing, at least in them. Bregman is actually a really good fit for them. They can play him at third base. They can move Ernie Clement to second, Addison Barger to right, and go about it that way. You'd have Springer and Santander DHing, playing some outfield as well. He is someone who would fit quite nicely, as would Bo Bichette.
It's New York Minute Sports.
General sense of what is going on with Alex Bregman and Bo Bichette, and specifically what is going on with the Boston Red Sox. As I wrote, the Red Sox have created a financial path for a big move. Alex Bregman should be their first choice. What is this path you speak of, Ken? Pretty clear. So with the money that the Red Sox got in the two trades for Contreras and Gray, Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray, like $28 million in those two trades, they essentially paid those players down to very reasonable rates. With Sonny Gray, it comes down to 1 year, $21 million. That's a very good move for the club in the terms of what they will be paying him for what his production might be. He'll probably be exceeding that value in what he does. And then with Contreras, it's 2 years, $42.5 million. It's still a reasonable number for a guy who plays at the level that Wilson Contreras.
Well, as far as the Boston Red Sox are concerned, and Red Sox fans, let me know in the comments below, the organization has been cheapskates lately. For the last 5 years, it seems like, and yes, I know that they've won a World Series more recently than the New York Yankees. It seems like everyone has at this point. But my question to you, Red Sox fans, is why let a guy like Alex Bregman even get to the open market? Why wouldn't you give him a qualifying offer like Trent Grisham did with the Yankees? And if you notice, a lot of guys took the qualifying offer this year with the strike looming in 2027. All I keep hearing about how much of an integral part Alex Bregman is to the Boston Red Sox offseason. So why wouldn't that be the first move that the Boston Red Sox make? It's kind of like the chicken or the egg, right? So you could have signed Alex Bregman and then made those moves for Sonny Gray, for Contreras, and all that. Or you make those moves and then you make the move for Alex Bregman. Or is Alex Bregman using the Boston Red Sox as leverage to jump ship to somewhere like the Seattle Mariners or the Detroit Tigers or their rivals, the New York Yankees? Because I'll tell you this, the brainiacs in the front office for the New York Yankees say that Alex Bregman game does not play well to Yankee Stadium. Alex Bregman can play baseball well on the moon. Okay, they're saying with the big left and center field in Death Valley in Yankee Stadium, Alex Bregman wouldn't have the doubles that he's been having. He needs that short porch and left like the Green Monster to jack up his numbers. But guess what? Alex Bregman's a winner. That's another thing he brings to the table. Great locker room guy. I think he'd be a great addition for the New York Yankees, but then you'd have to get rid of McMahon making $16 million this year being a defensive replacement. But I digress.
First choice should still be Bregman. He is, yes, going to be 32 years old in March, but at the same time, the Red Sox saw firsthand last season what Bregman can do for them.
That's a problem. You're going to be paying for Alex Bregman's contract long after he's gone, Boston Red Sox. And the Boston Red Sox are having the same problem as the New York Yankees with their front office. You know, you have the Hancock family, you have the Steinbrenner family, and obviously you just heard that they sold the Pittsburgh Penguins, so they have cash on hand. Hal and the owner of the Red Sox are literally friends, and they love counting their money. So now we've went from the early 2000s having an arm race with the Manny Ramirez's, the Pedro Martinez's, and the core four. Now we got penny pinching front offices that we have to beg and plead for a guy like Alex Bregman. Back in the day, 10 years ago, the Boston Red Sox wouldn't blink twice about paying this contract. They'd be like, shit, we'll pay the last 4 years of it. Who cares? We make enough money. Now, the game has changed and the finances has changed, folks.
Offensively, defensively, and the thing that might distinguish him the most is what he offers from a leadership standpoint, the dugout and the clubhouse. This is a guy, a rare player.
Most of my classmates, they were also working adults, so you feel like you're in a place where you belong. So that was very important to me. This is
who, as I wrote, helps make teammates better. That's what Alex Bregman does, in addition to being a really good player, a really good third baseman. So Bregman, okay, that's one possibility. Bo Bichette would be another free agent possibility, and Bo Bichette would be an interesting fit for the Red Sox as well. They could.
Now, listen, I know that a lot of Yankee fans and the Yankees front office are out on Bo Bichette, but I kind of think that it's a no-brainer for the New York Yankees. Not only do you steal a part of the heart and soul of the Toronto Blue Jays, you have your future second baseman, and now this leaves open the option to move Jazz Chisholm and get more draft capital for him, because the New York Yankees are going to need more veterans on this team if they want to even come close to sniffing a World Series this year. All right? It looks like Cody Bellinger, for all intents and purposes, is not going to be a New York Yankee next year when he's asking for $8 years at $400 million. Bo Bichette is a guy that can play in the AL East. He's sound defensively. His range is bad at shortstop, but we don't need him to play shortstop. With Lombard Jr. coming up in 2 years, Bo Bichette can go over to second. We can have a platoon of Caballero and Anthony Volpe at shortstop this year. And then you add a right-handed bat, which we need. He hits for high average. He also has some pop in his bat. He can set the table and hits for a high average. So I don't understand when it's just strictly a money move for the New York Yankees, who go out and give Trent Grisham $22 million qualifying offer and he takes it. It is mindless to why the Yankees wouldn't add a right-handed bat, which they desperately need, in Bo Bichette. Also, a lot of the moves that you make in this division is going to be preventing other teams from getting these guys. Do you want to see Bo Bichette go to the Boston Red Sox? Do you want to see Bo Bichette go back to the Toronto Blue Jays? I don't. Because I don't want to see a Toronto Blue Jays team north of the border with Dylan Cease, Kyle Tucker, and Bo Bichette coming back. And then we got to worry about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Because then the New York Yankees, if the Boston Red Sox get Alex Bregman and the Toronto Blue Jays retain Bo Bichette and get Kyle Tucker, the New York Yankees are the third best team in this division. And the New York Yankees better start making some goddamn moves. I thought I was going to get a new player underneath my tree. Obviously, that's not going to happen. The New York Yankees, if they are going to go with the answers that are in-house on the roster right now, as currently constructed, the New York Yankees are a third-place team in the AL East. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
This does. So in those two trades, and in the trade for Johan Oviedo, who is projected to earn $2 million in arbitration this season, the Red Sox cut financially prudent deals. That's one element of this. Another element, of course, is the money they saved in the Rafael Devers trade last June, more than $220 million going forward. Again, more than $220 million saved in that trade. Not all in 1 year, of course. It's spread out over time, but they created incredible payroll.
I mean, what a disaster the Rafael Devers situation was during this year. And the Boston Red Sox, they almost ruined their year with what was going on in the locker room. They were able to move Rafael Devers. And then when Devers went to the San Francisco Giants, he started causing problems over there. So the Boston Red Sox have made great moves, saving about $230 million on Rafael Devers. I never understood why they went so hard in the paint after a guy, he just didn't become not a locker room guy overnight. He must have been a problem before that, but you got to remember, Alex Bregman was one of the biggest reasons that Rafael Devers left town, because they kept moving Devers around. They said that he was the face of the franchise. They moved him from third to first. Then they're like, hey, you need to move to DH. He literally said, what do you want me to be, the janitor next week? So I need to leave town. But guess what? Rafael Devers is a pariah wherever he goes, and the Boston Red Sox are lucky they got rid of that dead weight.
Flexibility with that deal. That was one of the motivations. And then finally, also this week, we learned that the Fenway Sports Group, owners of the Red Sox, are selling the Pittsburgh Penguins for a reported $1.7 billion to $1.8 billion. That's nearly twice, or about twice, what they paid for the Penguins back in 2021.
Wow.
Pretty good investment.
Yo, little crossover with the Pittsburgh Penguins. You got to remember, I'm old enough to remember when Crosby was living with Lemieux at his house. And Mario Lemieux saved the Pittsburgh Penguins because they were going to go bankrupt. He literally bought the igloo and made Crosby live with him for financial reasons. Now the Pittsburgh Pirates are being sold for $1.5 billion. Good looks from Mario Lemieux and Crosby, bro.
Pretty good return over 4 years. Now, I know what the Red Sox would say, or the Fenway Sports Group would say. That's a separate transaction. It has nothing to do with the Red Sox. We operate the Red Sox simply based on their cash. All right, whatever. The Red Sox have money. We know they have money. We know they need another big bat in addition to Wilson Contreras. So who is it going to be? As I wrote, in my opinion, the first choice should still be Bregman. He is, yes, going to be 32 years old in March. But at the same time, the Red Sox play him at second, most likely, I would think, or third. They still have Trevor Story at short. And Marcelo Mayer conceivably could fill in at the other position, or perhaps they could do something else at the other infield spot. But to me, Bregman, because of his leadership, because the Red Sox have experienced him, because he has proven himself in Boston, he should be the first choice. Now, there are other teams obviously interested in Bregman. As I wrote, the Diamondbacks and Blue Jays have emerged as legitimate suitors in recent days, and there are other teams involved as well. And I know a lot of people, Red Sox fans in particular, the last few days are like, Scott Boras just using the media for leverage. Guys, use common sense. Do you really think there is only one team interested in Alex Bregman? Only one team interested in Bo Bichette? These are elite free agents. The same goes for Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. These guys have active markets. Now, it remains to be seen just what they'll get, but the point of it is there's competition. Now, what will...
I guess that's where I need to change my way of thinking as being a Yankee fan. There's competition now. When the Toronto Blue Jays did what they did last year, and now they are owned by a media conglomerate that's worth over $11 billion, it's a different day and age where the Yankees aren't like, all right, come back to me when everybody else gives you an offer and we'll put money on top of it, because the Dodgers are that team now. So it's going to be a crapshoot. And hey, you know what? Maybe you might be looking at the underdog Yankees this year. Yes, the underdog Yankees this year. Let me know what you think in the comments below. When's the last time the Yankees have been underdogs? 1995? When Mike Gallego was their starting shortstop?
What will the Diamondbacks do? Well, they could keep Ketel Marte even if they sign Bregman, though I don't expect that to happen. Ketel Marte becomes a 10-5 player with full veto rights over a trade on the 10th day of the season. We've heard all offseason, even before that, about Marte's issues in the clubhouse. They've been well chronicled, and it seems to me the Diamondbacks want to move on. The Red Sox could be a team for Marte. They could be a team for Brendan.
That's another thing, though. Marte seems like he's a problem. Also, a little long in the tooth. I think he's 33 years old this year, which means he's going to be obviously turning 34. And then I hear Brandon Donovan's name all over the place from St. Louis. He's really the bell at the ball that's emerged. I've been hearing his name for a couple of months. Second baseman, hits for high average. Tends to strike out a little bit, but he's young. I mean, close to 200 hits. Plays apparently a Gold Glove level second base. I wanted the New York Yankees to ring the bell on him and see what they can get, because I've told you before, I want Jazz Chisholm involved with a deal for Fernando Tatis Jr. Blue Jays fans, Yankees fans, Red Sox fans, and even Orioles fans, tell me what you want most in this offseason, or did you already get it?
Donovan, another player reported to be in trade talks. You play one of those guys at second base, maybe you play Mayer at third, and you don't need Alex Bregman or Bo Bichette. Okay, you do that, that's fine. The problem with that from the Red Sox perspective is they've already made 3 trades in which they've given up prospects. 3. Now, they could do it again. They really haven't touched the top of their system, but to do it, to get a Marte or a Donovan would probably require one of their top starting pitchers.
So if the Boston Red Sox are giving up a lot of their talent in their farm system and they're an older team, so that means that they're going for a win now mentality. But I just don't see where it makes any sense going for a win now mentality when you got a thing going on with the Dodgers. I got to admit, maybe the rest of baseball is kind of waiting for the Dodgers thing to run its course here in the next two years and then make the push in your window. But then, guys get old and stuff. But the Boston Red Sox in the American League, the Toronto Blue Jays are better than them right now. The New York Yankees are better than them right now. I would even say the Seattle Mariners are better than them right now. I would say the Tigers are better than the Boston Red Sox right now. So for a team that's giving up a lot of youth and getting older guys, they better put something together this year because the future's a little thin.
Starting pitchers. I'm talking about Peyton Tolley or Connolly Early. They've already lost some pitching depth, so I'm not sure they want to make a trade. Again, it points toward free agency. So what about Toronto's role in this? Toronto Blue Jays, a team that for several years there couldn't seem to sign a free agent, though they got a few smaller ones, now suddenly seem to be a destination for all free agents. We've seen them sign 3 already this offseason. Dylan Cease, Cody Ponce, and Tyler Rogers. They've spent a lot of money already, and it sure seems like with them in the mix for virtually every big name out there.
See, this all started when the Toronto Blue Jays had that start of the core of all the veteran sons, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Smithtown's own, Long Island Smithtown's own, Kevin Biggio, son of Greg Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero, obviously, and Dante Bichette, okay? When they got those guys, they started to get okay, and then their window was closing a little bit, and then they had this out-of-nowhere year this year, and they've been trying to get free agents for the last 5 years. So Toronto is making moves and trying to replace the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox as the belle of the ball in the AL East.
They've got one more signing, at least, in them. Bregman is actually a really good fit for them. They can play him at third base. They can move Ernie Clement to second, Addison Barger to right, and go about it that way. You'd have Springer and Santander DHing, playing some outfield as well. He is someone who would fit quite nicely, as would Bo Bichette. With Bo Bichette, it's largely the same equation. You play him at second, you play Clement at third, Barger in right, Springer and Santander contributing in the outfield. So all of these things are in play for the Blue Jays, and I imagine Tucker and Bellinger to an extent are as well, but their greater need is in the infield. So the Blue Jays, you can see the logic there. And also keep in mind, George Springer and Miles Straw, 2 guys who are on the Blue Jays right now, they were teammates with Alex Bregman in Houston. They know what he brings. I'm sure they've spoken highly of him. Again, there are other teams in the mix for Bregman, for Bichette. My point, what I wrote today, is that the Red Sox need to come away with one of these guys. Now, if you don't get either of them, you could sign a third baseman, whether it's Kazuma Okamoto or Eugenio Suarez. You could make a trade for Nolan Arenado, but none of these options is as good as Bregman or Bichette. So for the Red Sox.
And those were all the options that the New York Yankees were looking at, that they desperately needed a third baseman last year. And Ryan McMahon is not the guy at third base. I can't watch this guy this year. He will play Gold Glove defense, but I can't watch him hit 220 and hit 17 home runs and strike out over 200 times. And he's a left-handed bat too. So I think the New York Yankees need to do something at third base. And if you want a Japanese player, go get the Japanese third baseman. Also, there's reports that the New York Yankees haven't even spoken a word to the Japanese pitcher, that reports were saying that they were going to give him an 8-year deal. Guys, be wary of all these reports coming out, all these clickbait nonsense coming out. Guys will be telling you just random stories and making up breaking news just to get clicks and just to get views, okay? I was talking to my old man about this yesterday. My dad was like, you know what? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Dad, where'd you hear that from? And he's like, well, this place. Don't believe the hype. That's why you got to set your notifications right here to New York Minute Sports. If you notice, I didn't post in the last 2 days because if there's nothing to post about, I'm not going to post. I'm not going to make my own news so I can post something on YouTube during the day. I'm going to post when there's something of significance and I got an opinion on it. And guess what? It's going to be a verbose opinion, all right? So why don't you be verbose? Go over to Instagram, New York Minute Sports. That's NEWYRKMIN. And right here on YouTube, put the notifications on. Like, subscribe. I'm everywhere on that smoke wagon you call the information superhighway. New York Minute Sports. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Good night, Canada. Bye.